Welcome back to Inside Indonesia, brought to you by the Jakarta Globe. Today I'm talking with Andrew Hares, who's with the Monroe Consulting Group, which is an executive recruitment firm trying to find the best talent for the best companies in Indonesia. You're talking about the manpower shortage in Indonesia and the need for highly skilled executives at various levels of corporate world as things expand. The model used to be, now this is speaking to our expats in the audience, the model used to be expats would think, okay, I'll go to Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, someplace, and they'll pay me whopping buckets of money, put my kid in international school and drive me around town in a chauffeured Mercedes-Benz and life will be good. How many of those jobs are there in the Indonesian market?
Not many. Not many.
If you hear of any, I'll give you my card.
Yeah, I'll be first in line, believe me. No, the market has changed, not just in Indonesia, but right the way across Southeast Asia. Previously those packages existed, and private education, the $5,000 house, the $20,000 a month. But those jobs are becoming less and less and less as time moves on, as the trend right the way across Asia is to replace expatriate talent with local talent. Mm-hmm. And certainly you've seen over the past 10 years that the local talent emerging certainly has the skills available to be able to take on these roles more and more. The mining and the oil and gas industry is slightly different. They still pay very well and they still look after their employees, but that's predominantly because that's a global recruitment market and they're competing with the Middle East. And,
sure. What I find in Jakarta, which I still think I see quite prevalent, is you'll see in some specialized areas of business, like supply chain management in a big retail company, or particular things in health, particular supply issues and technical delivery issues in healthcare, and you'll see expats in quiet roles there, down below senior management. But you bump into I bump into a lot of Filipinos who seem to be doing really interesting technical work that apparently the companies found valuable to get overseas. Is that still a market?
Yeah, it is still a market. The pay scales have changed though. Mm-hmm. I think that there's been a global shift in terms of demand and job sector. If you have a look at the markets in UK and Europe and America, they make for pretty grim reading at the moment. And I've got a lot of colleagues in recruitment in the UK, and they can't wait to get out of the UK and come to Asia.
Sure.
And the result of that is that there's more and more talent coming from UK and Europe into the Asian job market, and that's driving down the price for packages available to expatriates.
Well, there was a fascinating article in our competitor, the Jakarta Post, not long ago, that about how Indonesia, and it was based on some study, Indonesia is becoming one of the hot places for young Europeans and particularly Europeans, but also Americans, just come out here and seek their fortune. Yeah. Get involved in a place where something's happening, rather than sit back in Philadelphia and get an unemployment check and sleep on your mom's couch or something.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, look, I've actually got two people working for me at the moment, one from Portugal and one from Spain. And they're young, they come from very good university, and they're working for basically local salaries. And the reason they're doing that is because their choice is, well, I can either come to a really hot part of the world and get some great experience, or I can sit at home and be unemployed.
That's a grim choice. So all you got to do is ask your mom.
Yeah.
It says go to Indonesia and get off the sofa because I'm tired of looking at you. You've been here since college.
Yeah, absolutely.
But on a more serious note, it strikes me that what's happening is, we already have a global movement of capital in a globalized world, lower tariff barriers. Things are changing in that regard. It sounds that what's happening without anybody directly saying it is that really we're entering a time of globalized labor, not just at the bottom level. We're used to migrants going off to Saudi Arabia and running oil fields, but at a management level, at a young executive level, we start to see people moving all over the world competing in a kind of similar job market.
Sure, absolutely, absolutely. The thing is that we've got this movement coming in from the West into Asia to get that experience, and that's putting pressure onto salaries of expatriates over here because you know they've got a choice. You know, in the expatriate recruitment market, you've basically got two different types. One is the one who's been transferred. Yeah,
right,
and they still get the good package and well looked after and private education. You've then got expatriates who have a personal connection to Indonesia, and they are on much more localized packages. You know, they're not getting the expat benefits, they're getting a good basic salary, but you still find at that top level, the basic salary of an expatriate and the basic salary of an Indonesian is very, very similar.
Very similar, yeah.
So you are starting to see at a senior level, you know, a very global market in the job sector.
Yeah. Which is good, which is something good for the people watching this show, I think, to keep in mind that if you're an expat, you're not all that special anymore, sorry. And if you're an Indonesian, you don't have to step aside thinking that an expat can do the job better than you can. And we're going to talk more about how to get noticed in the job market if you're trying to catch the eye of Monroe Consulting Group or other headhunters, and what you can do to find that dream job. Stay with us on Inside Indonesia, brought to you by the Jakarta Globe.